by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Here's the snap to Love. Rushes on. Love waits. Fires. Right side end zone. Leap and grab. Watson. And a sensational grab. Back line of the end zone.
For me personally, it's just obviously I've had this game, circled for a long time. It's my first start. Obviously didn't play how I wanted to.
It is what it is, man. I mean, obviously the guy was probably a little early, but at the end of the game, they're letting guys play. I'm kind of about that. I really let the guys play, let the guys win it on the field.
3rd and goal from the 8. Wilson in the gun. One back. P-Ryan. Wilson gets the snap. Wilson chased. Wilson escapes the sack, throws left side of the end zone.
Yes!
It's intercepted. Houston's going to win. 9 seconds to go.
I thought, Miles did a great job posting in there. Leger was big in there. Our guys did a nice job of attacking the basket when they had that opportunity. We didn't just settle for the 3.
Yeah, we did a good job. I think they're late, maybe like late in the 4th quarter and into overtime. We kind of stopped executing. We were kind of forcing it, and maybe putting a little bit of unnecessary pressure on ourselves.
Really loved the way the girls came out with high intensity. We had that press going back into our zone, got our hands on a lot of basketballs, forced a lot of turnovers early. Couldn't be more proud of the way we kind of came out.
Florida State is a different team than they were through the first 11 weeks. Coach Norvell, their players, their fans, an incredible season. But as you look at who they are as a team right now, without Jordan Travis, without the offensive dynamic that he brings to it, they are a different team.
Here's a lob. KJ, a slam! He spikes it down. 1 on the feed. KJ on that flush.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KBGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome in. It is a Monday show here, and this is like Thanksgiving dinner. It's like, where do you want to start today? There's plenty of things to go, and we'll run down sounds the past 24 hours or so. Also, all the weekend sports headlines, we'll be getting to that. And, let's see, Jim Mizunas is going to be in here. Mike Corson today goes on the...
I'm proud.
Oh.
We're missing a piece today.
We're missing a piece today, yeah. Mike Corson is in. Aaron Clark is on assignment today. He'll be on assignment tomorrow. He'll be back on Wednesday. And Mike Hesher in on the show today, running things at the controls. So here we go. Let's get started. The call last night on WRNW. WRNW, Green Bay. Christian Watson catches a 12-yard pass from Jordan Love. That came in the 3rd quarter. That was his 2nd of the game. Put Green Bay ahead of the Chiefs 27-19. Packers go on to beat Kansas City by that same score at Lambeau Field. Love, 25 of 36, 267, 3 TDs. And he said it was, he had this game marked. His first career start came in a 13-7 loss at Kansas City 2 years ago after he stepped in for Aaron Rodgers, who was sidelined at the time with COVID-19. Well, there was an interesting no-call late in the football game. Marquise Valdes-Scantling, obviously pass interference. But Patrick Mahomes says, there's a lot of things that would have had to happen before the Chiefs could have won that game. They had to get a 2-point conversion. Then they would have had to stop the Packers. But Kansas City goes down. They are now 8-4 in the season and in danger of going on the road in the first round of the playoffs. Mike Corson, is the Chiefs' magic gone?
No. Green Bay's decent. If you watched the game last night, you saw the graphic. Matt LaFleur, pretty decent record.
Still unbeaten in December. Yeah,
16-0. So it's not even a good record. It's a
I don't even remember
crazy
Green Bay's
outlier.
record last year. I mean, how their season went, you just figure, okay, Aaron Rodgers is gone now. You haven't even talked about it.
But it seemed like most of those months weren't so far over 500, and so to be 16-0, it's nuts. But yeah, one of the more interesting games probably of the season so far. You thought maybe when Kansas City made the stop late and Green Bay had to kick it, you left the door open. Mahomes throws an interception. Still an 8-point game. He's going to drive the field, do something magical.
That's
Throws
what I mean.
a deep ball.
The magic is. I'm not saying they can't get it back, but last night and even the Philadelphia game, you kind of sit there and say, well, before I say, well, somehow I don't know, they'll come back and win the game. But again, that bad interception, and again, I don't think that Patrick Mahomes knows where his receivers are going. I don't know if the receivers know where they're going. And then the last drive, an obvious pass interference penalty. But I will say, a couple plays before that, Mahomes got hit on the sideline, and they threw a flag on Green Bay when Mahomes was in bounds and he was going for the first down stake. So, and I don't think anyone's crying for the Chiefs on getting calls or not getting calls.
No, but you say the Magic's gone probably without that pass interference or without the contact. That was a spot-on ball. I like to think he would have caught it. Maybe momentum took him in. So it was a really big no call, whether you like it or not. But, yeah, like the drive before that, that was a terrible interception. But that particular pass in that big moment was spot-on. Would have made it interesting, but late game situation, you always say, is it a foul in the first quarter? It should be in the fourth quarter.
I agree.
Any sport.
You just wonder what's going through. I mean, the back official's not saying he's going to make up calls. They don't have make-up calls. I'm telling you, they don't. But sometimes in a situation, maybe, I don't know who the official, sometimes, and then you miss the moment to call it, and then basically it's called swallowing a whistle. I think he swallowed his whistle.
That, and we have the luxury. It's nice and warm. Our eyes aren't watery from the frozen tundra. We don't get slow-mo. We got the slow-mo. It seemed kind of obvious real time, but I wasn't there. I wasn't at the right angle. My camera angle from my couch was pretty clean.
It looked good, and I had 2 and 3 different looks at it too.
Over and over.
So the Chiefs fall, and the defense has been good. Now, is it a Chicago Bears 1985 defense? No, but they've got some injuries right now, especially at middle linebacker.
He was the guy that went down on the sideline. Sounds like probably that guy's not coming back this year.
No, another safety's gone. So, yeah, when they don't want to replay it, are you a guy that sits there and watches horrible injuries on replay? I'll turn away. I've never seen the Joe Theismann play.
Roughly
I
paying
refuse
attention.
to look at it.
Roughly paying attention, they say, we're not going to show it to you. It's too gory. I rewound it 3 minutes to go back and see what I couldn't see it. He was laying there holding his leg, and I didn't see any. Like I was watching one over the weekend where somebody went and took out one of the sideline workers. That one was a visible break. This one, I did not see it.
You guys talking about Brian Cook?
Yeah.
They were saying this morning it's not a broken ankle. That's what I heard this morning.
Okay, and you can get a dislocated ankle, and it looks grotesque.
Right. They said it looked grotesque, but it's not broken.
Thank you, Hesh. That's great news.
Well, I try to offer that every now and then.
So, Kansas City.
And I'm still not worried. It still comes down. I like it when Kansas City has home field advantage. I love it. The press Kansas City gets out of that for about, 5 weeks. But would I want to face Kansas City wherever they're playing in the playoffs? Probably not. Still an upper echelon team.
I'll give NBC credit. How many different... I remember one. How many times did they show your girl in the press box?
I didn't see it at all.
There was one. She was up there with her phone. She was taking a picture. So they stayed away from that. Hesh was able to stay happy.
But you know what we've also had to do to level the playing field? Oh, Simone Biles has a husband in the NFL. Look at this couple. I think that's funny.
That's
never
more
been
impressive.
mentioned.
Yeah, but well,
That
she
ain't
got some
more
airtime
impressive.
down there, so that was good. The call on KIRO, the Texans intercept Russell Wilson with 9 seconds left. The Texans hold on to beat the Broncos 22-17 to end Denver's 5-game winning streak. Russell had 3 picks in the game. What was he and Sean Payton talking about on the sideline?
And I missed that. I was in and out of the house, and so I intentionally got back so I could watch the end of that one. Down 5, driving. Sweet, the Broncos are going to pull it out. Old Russell's back, heroics. And it was a decent pass. He was off balance, and then the guy kind of picked it off. Otherwise, the guy would have caught it. It was actually a solid
That was a
play.
big game. I mean, Texans now have that last playoff spot, but the Broncos still.
Probably enough time
They're
to
playing Peyton ball right now.
get back in there, but yeah, when you're surging, you got to ride that.
All right, the Barton Cougars go on the road Saturday afternoon in El Dorado, ranked 6th in the country. They're coming off a loss to Cali, and then knocked off the 9th-ranked team in the country, Butler. Huge win, 65-61. Head coach Jeremy Combs, they only took 4 3-pointers in the first half. Butler wanted to run them off the three-point line. Obviously, that was one of their concerns. So Barton goes inside, outscores the Grizzlies in the paint, 40-18. Barton led from start to finish, had a 14-point lead with about 4 minutes left. It got down to 1 with 24 seconds left. 13-0 run, 15-2 overall run by Butler. And then Brent Moss, a couple of free throws, and he got a rebound to secure that victory. So they've got to win at the power plant.
And coach didn't sound too happy after the loss. Said, I think it was something maybe about the work ethic or something, woke him up a little bit. So I'm guessing they had a couple tough practices between those games.
So the new rankings will be out here shortly. We'll see where Barton is. The Lady Cougars, they ended up dropping their game, and by the score of 56-42, they trailed by 14 at halftime, tried to cut into it, but ended up falling by 14. So the Cougars back at home on Wednesday. They'll be taking on Northwest Tech. Great Bend High School, Junction City. Friday night at the Field House. You heard Kyle Cree talking about what they maybe didn't do in overtime, but they had a 14-point lead with about 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Junction City turned up the pressure switch, and they were able to get back in it. Ian Premer got a bucket to fall, got it into overtime, but Great Bend comes up short, missed opportunity to beat a pretty good Junction City team by the score of 66-63, final score in that game. Premer, a couple of very impressive dunks. He took a move on the baseline, drove around and one-handed it over Michael Boganowski, who's the OU commit, who's going to, not in basketball, but for football. And he's a pretty good basketball player, too. That was pretty impressive. Boganowski in the game had 13 points. But Premer, 12 rebounds, 2 steals. Maddox Spray had 11 in the game. Wonderful basketball game, but Great Bend ended up turning it over 18 times. I don't know how it broke down, how many they had in the second half or how many they had in the final couple of minutes of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, but that turned out to be second chance points, 14-11 Junction City, and they got 24 points off turnovers. Great Bend turned it over 18 times. I think they were over 30 last year. Shot 51% from the floor, 6 of 11 on threes. Rebounding, they got out-rebounded by 3, but it came down to that 3-point game. Great Bend falls in their opener to Junction City.
Couple ways to look at that. Obviously, a coach never wants to lose, and one game could affect your standings late in the year. But other than that, you could also say 18 turnovers, some mistakes. We played better than them. We should have won it. Get over it. Let's move forward. We're a better team. And given the fact that they played that bad, had that type of lead, I do think this Panther team is going to be very fun to watch this year. Upset that I didn't get in there and see those dunks, because you got to remember, this kid's a sophomore.
That was the first field goal of the year for the Panthers.
Just setting the bar high.
Yeah. Premer goes down and slams a left-handed rim bender down, and that's the first field goal of the season.
How was the reaction on that? Were you in there?
Nope, I was watching on the video. Because
it's been a little bit since Great Bend had a kid who consistently dunk or do it with any style.
Oh, it was loud when he drove that one down to the second half, drove the baseline.
Get Hayes in here and do that. It's going to be awesome.
Well, he did that against them last year. That was really, really good. Okay, not a bad night for Sadie Spray. Career high 31 points, 12 steals in the game, and I understand that tied a school record.
Sounds like, Cindy Beck was, I think she's the all-time steals leader, so 12 in a game would be, I believe, the tie.
I saw some conversation in front of the bench, and someone was talking to Cindy, and then immediately Spray came out of the game. So I don't know if that was. I'm just kidding.
She put her in a zone. No, and once again, we talked about this morning. That's a 6A school. I don't know how good Junction is, but look
Not
at
very good.
Yeah, look at the competition maybe going into Kingman, and everybody knows who Sadie Spray is. But if she's putting up 31 on 6A, hopefully we'll see a lot more of that this year.
The story's the same this year as it was last year. You know, Sadie Spray's going to get hers. Who else can step up and help fill that gap? Emily Hall had 13 points in the game and hit some outside shots. She's a good shooter from about 17 feet in. And she's open because there's a lot of size in the Western Athletic Conference, and she likes that drop step come around, but sometimes that nice move just doesn't correlate going over taller players. So Great Bend will head to Kingman, the Kingman Eagle Classic. Second year they've been in that. They'll play Conway Springs on Thursday at 3 and 4:30. Girls playing first, and then they'll come back and play host Kingman on Friday, 6 and 7:30 for those games. And then it's pool play, so hopefully get to the championship game. On the other side, Sterling. They got a win in their opener, Sterling boys. Sunrise Christian beat Hugoton at the Hayes City Shootout. So, yeah, we kind of assume they'd be pretty good. And then you have Haven in there. So that other side of the pool at the Kingman Classic on the boys' side, pretty tough.
Was Sunrise bouncing back-to-back tournees?
Oh, yeah.
6 games in 2 weeks? That's nuts.
Well, when you don't when you're basically an all-star team, that's what you do.
Yeah.
This is the all-star B team. This isn't.
No, I'd be curious. It'd be nice to get down if Great Bend and Sterling boys match up.
Or Haven, for that matter.
Yeah, I think they're ranked too. We've seen what Sterling has done these last few years, but like we were talking about this morning, also Gabe Riffle, can he slow down Premer? He slows down everybody.
Sterling knocked off the Panthers in this tournament last year, so. And Sterling won the pool, so Great Bend ended up playing in the third place game. But
yeah, they're ranked number 1 in 2A, so obviously the coaches respect them.
All right, on to the college football playoff. Hesh. Those are the 4 teams. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. Florida State, I didn't think they'd ever do it. But they are out. Georgia is out. No one's really saying anything about them. Okay, if Georgia's 29-game winning streak comes to an end, they lose by a field goal, and they're out. The best thing about this is it's the last time we'll have to deal with this. I'm sure there'll be people having ulcers and getting upset and jumping up and down when we select the 12 teams next year. It's, the 13th team. But that was pretty strange. I mean, I like conference champions in the playoff, and that's what all these are. You think if anyone else other than Alabama would have been?
No, and I was afraid Alabama and Georgia would get in because college football sure loves the SEC, and as a 2-time undefeated, and you lose that close to decent. Can't not call Alabama decent.
Well, I think Georgia would have stayed in.
Should have got the ticket in.
Well, they would have, but then they covered their tail because you can't put Alabama in and leave Texas out, right? So it was a choo-choo train going through there. Okay, well they're strapped together, so if we put both those in there,
and you know the committee was hoping Oregon would beat Washington.
Oh
so
yeah,
they could
absolutely,
kick out
it'd been easy.
Pac-12, and Florida State. Sorry, if you've been top 4 all year. You just beat another good team. You've done nothing to lose your spot. If you get beat by 50, so be it, but that's the rules.
So,
and I don't like Florida State. That's hard to say.
I was reminded yesterday when the AP poll came out. Now, the coaches poll, they have to go, I mean, the rankings are just, the 1 through 4, whatever. They can still win a national championship, right? They beat Georgia in the Orange Bowl. AP comes up and votes, and things fall their way in the playoffs. They can still win a national championship. AP national, you get a banner, you fly it up in the air. I'm sure AP has a nice bowl for the national championship for football.
I think the powers that be are trying to We're a committee system now.
I think the AP's separate from that. They don't care. I think they can still win a national championship. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, Washington's going to run the table. They're going to floor Texas.
I could see that.
I can't.
Alabama's going to beat Michigan.
That's a really good matchup on paper.
Yeah, it is. But Michigan comes from who are their good wins this year? Ohio State.
Yeah, they've just kind of floored everybody. I mean, nobody expected Iowa to be close.
Iowa won 10 games. In what conference? Oh, yeah.
But it's remarkable.
And that's in the West. The East is a little bit better because you have Ohio State and Michigan both there. I'm just glad Ohio State didn't get slapped in there some way. And they didn't even play.
So college football people, probably the committee, have to think that Michigan, Alabama are the top two teams. So it's nice that they put them in the semifinal game as opposed to letting them perhaps reach the final. So at least we'll get rid of one of them. And hopefully we get rid of Texas and Washington can cakewalk.
Yeah, Texas pretty much took care of business in their game against Oklahoma State. Kind of figured that would happen. And our final sound of the weekend, forgot about all this. This is a great basketball game on Friday night. Brian Haney to call. KJ Adams finished an alley-oop pass with a dunk. KU beats UConn. That's UConn, not YUKON. 69-65. Heck of a game at Allen Fieldhouse.
And
that was the other game I was watching along with the Great Bend Panthers, although they were pretty much over with by the time KU and UConn got started.
Well, that was a crazy night. I'm down at the Heston for the Southeast game, 2 and 3 and 3A. The kid in front of me has the football game on his little phone.
Right.
So I'm adamant that I don't make eye contact
Oh,
so
yeah,
he's not sharing scores with me. So KU was an afterthought. I did see the score as I was watching my football game on DVR later that evening. Like, oh,
so you got out of there without knowing who won?
Couldn't listen to any live radio on the way out. Couldn't check my phone. Couldn't look at social media. So that's where you just bite the bullet, get home, get the game over with so my life can resume as normal.
Is there a lot of social chatter going on about Washington?
Brandon at Barton is a big Oregon fan, and I specifically knew he would have something. He had his dog dressed up in green and yellow. So,
what was your cat dressed like?
We're just moderate Husky fans. She has her purple for other reasons.
Brandon also had the flag outside his house. We're neighbors, and he was flying the big Oregon flag all weekend. So
that must be quite the corner over there in Hoisington. Huh?
It's a lively corner, yes.
All right, there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours. Jim Azutis is coming in. Also on the show, we're going to be talking Great Bend boys wrestling today. So Gannon Reichert will be on the
prowl.
with Mike Corson. I'll run down some headlines for you. Basketball getting underway this afternoon or later on this evening, and we'll kind of give you some of the other headlines of the weekend coming up.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician program. Gain the skills you need to assist pharmacists with the day-to-day demands of a pharmacy. Classes are 100% online and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at pharmtech.bartoncccc.edu.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmy's make it happen.
Got a great mattress sales event going on right now at Mattress Solutions. Definitely the place to be today on the Shopping Over the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree from Mater Plumbing, Heating, and Air, your Brian dealer, and Bauer Computer. Scott Donovan inviting you to stop on by before 5 o'clock. They're open till 7 tonight, right in front of Walmart here at 3511 10th Street. And they do call it Suite 7, by the way. $300 gift card available with select mattress purchases. Come on in and find out about that. Special financing, no money down, no credit needed. Free delivery and setup with qualifying purchases as well. And of course, they've got the largest in-stock selection in Kansas. So, hey, this is a great place to be. Of course, it is a subsidiary of Millers of Claflin, but you're going to find all the brand names that you love, from Purple to Tempur-Pedic, you name it. They've got it here for you today. Come on by and check it out at Mattress Solutions on 10th Street in Great Bend, right in front of Walmart. And the place to be in the Shopping Over the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree. Good luck.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Back on Sports Day, Steve Webster, Aaron Clark, Mike Hesher with you today. Mike Corson, Mike Hesher, Steve Webster.
Sounds
That's
like
me. Okay. All right. Sports Day brought to you in part by Next Tech Wireless, built by Kansans for Kansas. Also by Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor and shop local when you can. And the Barton Cougar Booster Club continue their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country.
sounded a second like you had a fever. Only prescription's more cowbell. Little Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, we could have done that if I had that. Hesh had the. We got to do that again. No, that's okay. All right. Other high school games from the weekend. In Western Athletic Conference, on the boys' side, Liberal beat Ulysses 84-54. McPherson rolled past Dodge City 64-37. Hayes went 1-2 in their Hayes City shootout. Scott City over Hoisington boys 50-38. The girls' game goes to Hoisington 76-65. Mike Hesher had the call on 100.7 Eagle Country.
Yes, sir, I did, and it was interesting watching the girls because 76 points. I did go back and check. They only scored over 70 the past 15 years or so, and that was last year against a Kinsley team that was struggling. So they shot, I read the 11 three-pointers they made. 11 three-pointers did the girls. They made 21 as a total because Scott City was shooting three-pointers as well. It was unlike a girls' game I've seen for a while.
Well, and they play this afternoon.
They play this afternoon at 5 o'clock. They play South Central, as Trevor Ross was telling us before, a little bit about South Central, because he has ties to South Central. So, and the boys, we talked about it. You got to keep Tony Moore and Caden Hoffman on the floor, and they both picked up 2 fouls in about the first 3 minutes of the game, so they sat quite a bit.
You know what I was thinking about? You said, what's the worst-case scenario that could have happened? I said, Tony Moore got hurt. And he said, no, he just got a foul trouble.
Yeah, if he gets hurt, it's going to be a bad issue.
Okay, so that's coming up from the Katy Classic today. The other games today in that side, St. John will play Ellis in the girls' game at 5:30, and then the St. John-Ellis boys' game will follow. Those will be at Larned Middle School, the Hoisting games at Larned High School. Then tomorrow's games, Larned will play Kinsley. Girls' game starts at 5:30, boys at 7. That'll be at the middle school, and then Buckland and Reno County rounding out that tournament. Okay, other scores from around the area. La Crosse boys over Ellenwood, 46-40. So La Crosse following up a state tournament team from a year ago. Maxville beats Ness City 82-63. We had a plus 40 score in that game, Mike Corson.
I think it's just the junior Diego Esparza. Obviously, he was part of that state championship team. He was one of the reasons when they were in here. I'm like, they obviously lost a lot, but a couple of those sophomores were coming back, and he was one of them. 42 in the opener. That's a good sign.
Not a bad start. St. John beats Stafford in boys action 41-35. Girls scores: La Crosse beating Ellenwood 58-26. Maxville over Ness City 40-32. Marine Academy beating Central Plains girls 50-35. St. John 69, Stafford 15. Western Plains beat Chase 47-37. Chase Cats ended the game with 3 players.
Mars off one of them?
No, I don't think his eligibility. Plus, he wears black shoes that are slick on the bottom. I don't think he could have guarded anybody, but that was the case when he played too. So, good offensive player, not much defense.
Okay,
but
so coaching indoor soccer again, and I almost had to forfeit, so we went too short, and the other team was kind enough to pull their players. In a high school varsity basketball game, do you pull 2 kids to go 3-on-3, or do you leave 5-on-3?
Well, if it's a close game, man. You know,
Hey, the rules are
my
on my
guys.
side.
My guys didn't foul, so.
Ouch.
But it was a tie game. I mean, I think at the end of the third quarter, Kinsley girls over Sublette 50-25, and South Central beating Pawnee Heights 36-32, and the South Central boys came up with a fairly easy win over Pawnee Heights as well. And South Central sounds like they're going to be pretty good in basketball. So. Anything else from the weekend? Man, there's so much that went on.
Trying to think what other games I did watch. Obviously, we got the bowl news for KU and K-State.
Oh, yes.
I'm intrigued by this Pop-Tart Bowl. It's the first edible mascot
It
ever.
used to be the Citrus Bowl. So in Orlando, and K-State's never been to Florida for a bowl game. I didn't know that. So that's going to be December 28th. NC State ranked 18th, K-State's 25th in the AP poll. So that's going to be the 28th. KU, this is kind of they go to Phoenix. I don't know if was this a Copper Bowl back in the day? I don't know. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl now in Phoenix. Kansas gets UNLV. It's kind of tough on KU fans. You want to go to a bowl game, and you're going to tell everybody, nope, no Christmas presents for you. We're going to Phoenix for the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. KU going, I think, back-to-back bowl games, just the second time in school history.
And kind of going back to Texas, if you watch the end of that game when the Big 12 commissioner came up and just got lit up by the fans, like people said, Texas is still benefiting the Big 12, so the conference will.
Oh,
Texas's departing gift is here's a few million for letting us. But other than that, how many of these teams are going to have similar rosters to what they had in the regular season versus how many kids enter the transfer portal, or who wants to play?
Does
in
it
these
make
bowl
you
games?
sad the bowl games are going away? There's 42 of them this year.
And then they had to let some teams in that weren't even 6 wins. It's become a debacle.
The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl from Shreveport. Texas Tech will take on Cal. That'll be on December 16th. The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. UCF will take on Georgia Tech. The Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina will have West Virginia against North Carolina. The Tax Act Texas Bowl from Houston. Oklahoma State against Texas A&M. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, Orlando, that'll be on the 28th. Also on the 28th, the Alamo Bowl, but it's the Valero Alamo Bowl. Number 12, Oklahoma against 14th ranked Arizona. That's a nice matchup. Iowa State against Memphis in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on December 29th, and then the national championship semifinal that includes a Big 12 team, Texas against Washington. But the Orange Bowl could still determine a national champion.
Jim looking that up for us?
Yeah, I think, well, he's part of the AP. Probably he votes for the Heisman. I would figure he's a voter on the AP poll. Why not? The winner of that game, everything goes right. Florida State could be an unbeaten national champion still.
I hope you saw my boy Penix this weekend then.
That just made you happy, didn't it? What a game. Because Oregon, they were the one-loss team, had lost to that team, and they went in almost a double-digit.
I'm making
underdog.
the case, if you're Oregon, you don't get a choice that you had to play Washington twice. Washington's obviously a top 3 team. I think you lost both games by a combined 6 points, including a missed field goal at the end. That's like one loss.
Oh,
it's like a technicality. It's an asterisk.
Where are you going to travel next year? So, I mean, you're going to go to the Northeast, you'll come back here. Boston College should be in the national championship game.
Nope. And I'm not even, I was waiting for that because if Oregon had done something crazy, oh, you like Oregon. No, I actually don't. I hated Chip Kelly. I've hated Oregon since. I hate all the uniform changes.
But you like that duck.
I do love Puddles, and they got a little bit of TV time. and I like Dan Lanning now, so I'm waiting to regain some Oregon love, but still got Chip Kelly in my mouth. Trying to get that out of there. But Washington, no bad feelings.
Jim Mazunas, Great Bend Tribune, joining us next. Brought to you by Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine. Get your life back. An Eller Automotive Repair, a local mechanic that can help behind Great Bend Appliance Furniture and Sleep Source. It is the Monday Sports Day show on KVGB.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
He's covered more big games than anyone else in the Golden Belt. He might be on your sideline, in your gym, or just about anywhere there's a game. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mazunas.
Jim Mazunas here on the program. Okay, so if the Associated Press poll, they don't have to vote along the like the coaches do. I mean, the coaches poll is going to mirror what the final results of the college football playoff, but the AP, I mean, their new poll came out. They had Florida State ranked number 4. So why can't Florida State just go beat Georgia and AP vote them co-national champs?
They could be the only undefeated team in the country.
I'd make my own flag if that was the case.
No,
but somebody's got to be left out. But man, if you win every one of your games, maybe the matchups would be better. I don't know. That Florida State defense looked pretty good. But who are you going to leave out?
Well, you leave out Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, why should Florida State be penalized for something they have no control over? They won all their games.
And they played a good schedule.
Does anyone want to play that defense? No. They beat LSU by double digits, which was more than Alabama beat them. They went 2-0 against the SEC. You know, there's no question.
They blitzed LSU. I mean, that was a different quarterback.
Do the results on the field matter? Or does it matter, oh, we've got this committee. What a joke. What a joke. So the results on the field don't matter. All that matters is our blessed committee. It's just a joke. You know, here's these so-called experts who are predicting, oh, Florida State, they're not very good now. Well, they picked Georgia. They lost. They picked Oregon. They lost. They picked Louisville. They lost. So how did all those experts do in those games last weekend? They lost, they lost, they lost. So that's what you do when you're guessing on these games and how they're going to go. Has anybody picked the Chiefs to be 8-4 with their matchups of wins and losses? No way. I mean, I picked them to win, they lose. I picked them to lose, they win. I mean, that's just called competition.
You got to play it on the field.
You got to play it on the field, and you should decide it on the field.
But who would have you? Okay, you'd have left Alabama.
Texas.
So, but Texas got.
Here's the question.
They were locked together.
Who gets the 4th spot if Georgia wins?
Well, Florida State.
Well, that's right. So what you're saying is that Alabama's win got Texas in, which is absolutely insane. And Florida State should have been the 4th team in had that happened. Georgia was undefeated. You had 4 undefeated teams. Well, let's see. There's 4 undefeated teams. Yeah, I guess we'll go with 4 undefeated teams. No, let's go with that team with 1 loss.
That was
makes
number
no
8
sense.
going into the
Well,
final.
that shows you the illogic and the stupidity of the committee. Because I agree with you. I think that's what would have happened. Now, I predicted that's exactly what would happen. They're going to put Alabama in. They got to have their.
But if Alabama goes, then you got to bring Texas right along with them.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. But no, you're right. If you're going to put Alabama in, you need Texas in. But it made no sense. Had Georgia won, so what you're doing is you're flipping the script. And then I'm guessing that because Texas was ahead of Florida State, that Texas would have gotten in over Florida State too. I mean, that's what the committee's saying. That's what they said. They ranked Texas ahead of Florida State. Florida State won, Texas won. So again, that shows you the illogic of that. Because Florida State should have been, if you're on 13-0, you're in. You're in. I don't care who you played. I mean, the SEC, you know what their record? They've had a losing record non-league. You know how many league games they play? They play 8. They don't play 9. Guess what happens when you play 8? You have 1 less loss for everybody. Yeah. You know, okay, let's put it this way. Alabama is buying everything for the Auburn coaches they can possibly think of. They're rushing two players on 4th and 31. They're buying them mansions. They're buying them stock options. They're buying them everything. The Alabama coaches are beholden to the Auburn coaches because of rushing 2 guys on 4th and 31. And literally, here's how that play decided who was in, and K-State going for 4th and goal from the 7-yard line decided another spot because Texas wouldn't have got in had K-State won that game.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 biggest plays of college football this year, in my opinion.
You know, people used to have problems with the computer rankings, but
no, I love
computers were not biased.
They weren't biased.
Everybody's biased in one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a league, whether it's a style of football you like, whether, players sometimes I think are the worst people to put on that.
Well, why did 12 teams make the playoff that were undefeated? 12 teams undefeated had made the playoffs. The 13th team was Florida State.
Yeah.
So what am I missing there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The best thing is next year it'll be 12. Missouri would be in. K-State would have been in last year.
Yeah, it'll be. And they went with 2. And when they went with 2, I said, man, they should have gone with 4. When they went with 4, I said, man, they should have gone with 8.
But remember growing up, though, Jim, it was like the AP poll and the UPI.
Yeah, it was important. Yeah.
But you'd have split. So so when they got 2, I said, okay, but at least in our lifetime, we're finally going to see it, Jim.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing. I mean, college football will definitely benefit, and the SEC will get 6 out of 12, maybe 8 out of 12 in the playoff. That's probably it. Because the only teams they ever lose to are their teams in their conference. Now that byproduct is because they don't play anybody outside. Alabama.
Well, LSU did.
Alabama did. They lost.
LSU did.
They lost.
They lost to Florida State.
What happened when those teams went outside conference and played a tough team? They lost. And again, it's SEC bias. It's ESPN bias. ESPN showcases that conference, and they showcase the Big Ten. So the Big Ten expands, the SEC expands, and ESPN gets everything they want. So.
Yeah, I was the Big Ten any good? It was hyped up. Who'd you have? Ohio State? Well, Penn State, the team that couldn't score. Yeah.
No, the Big Ten didn't have real dynamic offenses this year for sure. But.
Okay. Whew. Nice stuff bringing it today, Jim. Okay, thoughts? Great Bend up by 14, about 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter against Junction City. Kind of a missed opportunity for the Panthers as Junction kind of turned up the pressure defense, and Great Bend had some big turnovers in that.
It went down to turnovers, and it certainly lost opportunity because Great Bend had just played spectacular basketball. Junction City is fast. They're quick. They got a Division I athlete in the front court or back. Let's see, front court, and tremendous athleticism, and Ian Premer said, "Hey, I'm bringing it tonight." Ian just played spectacular, and the Panthers they moved the ball. They didn't hold the ball. So Junction switches to a half-court trap, starts trapping a half-court. 5 consecutive turnovers at the end of regulation. 5 consecutive turnovers. I mean, basically, they're just a play away or a point away from winning that game in regulation. And then Chad Omont gets a great steal and gives them a chance. But then Junction is so quick. They get back on defense, tip the ball away, and get the ball right back. So, tremendous effort by the Panthers. It's just unfortunate that their ball handling cost them, because it wasn't like they didn't slow the game down. They just, when you go into the half-court trap, Haven's done this for years. You don't stop the ball in right at the 3-point at the half-court line, and you don't stop the ball right after you get past the half-court line, because that's what the trap's all about. And definitely coachable things. And I mean, when they looked at the tape, I guarantee you there was 4 or 5 spots where don't stop here. Keep your dribble alive. Don't pass a soft pass to the middle of the court. Coachable, teachable moments. And Kyle Cray will do a tremendous job getting them ready to go. And I expect some big things this weekend down in Kingman.
Okay.
And the girls, Sadie Spray, I mean, she's just a phenomenal athlete. They're up 24-0. They forced 25 turnovers the first half. They were just tremendous. And I think that what Coach Beck has seen is, hey, we need to spot up and play some of this full-court defense. We're not very tall.
And do it all the time.
We're not very physical, but let's use our strengths. And it's just excellent coaching by Coach Beck. Of course, you can't do that when you're playing 3 consecutive days down at Kingman, but you can spot press and take advantage of that. Excellent utilization of what you got. You got speed and quickness and girls who really are active to the basketball. So, yeah, tremendous effort and coaching on Cindy Beck's part, too.
Real quick. So, watching it on the Great Bend YouTube channel, the game, couldn't really tell what was going on at the end of the game. I know that Junction City went down through the dunk tank. I saw a policeman standing in the middle of the court, so.
Have you ever seen that? Now, I don't know the basketball officiating question on that.
Wasn't that the question last year? Because
is that not a technical? The officials were still on the court. The game had just ended.
But the game, I don't know about basketball. I mean, remember that technical foul was called at the end last year up at TMP? But that was for talking to the official. I think as soon as that whistle's over, or the officials are done. I mean,
the toughest game last year for the boys was on the last second shot. Great Bend in a tie game gets called for a foul with like 0.5 of a second left, which was a tough way to lose a ball game because. I mean, it had gone overtime. The game's still tied, and basically that call decided the game when the free throw was made by TMP. So, that was. I honestly, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I got a little bit. Yeah, it was a little bit tense at the end of that game. Jim, thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
Great take on college football playoff. Next year it'll be 12 teams. Can't wait for that. Okay, coming up. We're going to be talking Great Bend, or it's on the prowl. Mike Corson talking Great Bend Panther boys wrestling.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. And they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
You don't have to be a pro to capture memories this holiday season. At Nextech Wireless, get the latest phones to share those precious moments. For a limited time, get the new iPhone 15 or Samsung Galaxy S23 on us. Nextech Wireless, home on the range.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
I had a young gal come in the other day who has been having chronic back pain. Did a session just helping her to understand her pain, not understanding her back, but teaching her how her nervous system works. And just that knowledge just calmed her down so much. She came back in this morning, huge smile on her face, and she was so excited to learn more. It was a blast.
Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Barton Community College helped me get a jump start on college with early college opportunities. With Barton's help, I earned my degree at the same time I graduated from high school. You can take classes on campus, online, and even at your high school with teachers you already know. With tuition rates starting at $50 per credit hour for select Kansas high school audiences and scholarship opportunities, it is easier than ever. Barton Community College helped me get one step closer to my dream, and it can help you too. Learn more at highschool.bartoncccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Extend the life of your equipment with the best warranty program and risk management tool in the agriculture industry. The Cenex Total Protection Plan covers new and used equipment. Receive up to 10 years or 10,000 hours of engine coverage when you use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster premium diesel fuel and synthetic lubricants. With no deductible, the Cenex Total Protection Plan provides unmatched coverage to give you the power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor, today.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by new Panther wrestling coach Gannon Reichert. Coach, good to have you on the program.
Good to be here. How's it going, Mike?
It is going well. Busy weekend for the girls, but Monday we're going to talk about boys, I think, this season. So let's start there. But as a new coach, kind of interested in who I'm talking to, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Gannon Reichert, obviously. I came from Oberlin, Kansas, which is way up there in northwest Kansas. Small school. I think they were 1A when I was there. Past years while I was there, I've been at the middle school coach, or head middle school coach, and prior to that, I was an assistant coach at Manhattan while I was in college, and had been in the club in Oberlin as well for probably about 14 years or so.
Just in terms of facilities and maybe the roster size, how big is a jump has it been from 1A to 5A with Great Bend?
Oh, definitely some facility changes. We kind of just had a basement dungeon room, but we kind of called it in Oberlin. Some drop tile ceilings that looked like they were about to cave in, and old mats, and to that new facility we have now over kind of on the bypass area. It's way different numbers. Yeah, we had probably around 26 kids on my junior high team, and here I think we're around 60. So yeah, quite the difference.
All right, and last year was a loaded team. I think they sent 10 to state, finished 4th in Class 5A, which is always loaded. Goddard, Arc City, those type schools. And I think all 10 of them made it through to the day 2. So let's talk about some of those kids. Senior Caden Hoffman was state runner-up last year at 126. Kind of how's he looking so far this year?
So that's kind of one of the biggest things coming in new here. these kids I haven't seen wrestle too much. It was great having this first weekend done. I kind of got to see him on the mat, and I got to say he looks pretty sharp so far.
Freshman Tristan Tomlinson was another one, came out last year as a freshman, gets third place at state as a lightweight. I know sometimes those freshmen grow up. How's he looking?
He's also looking pretty sharp. I know he kind of had a rough day at Valley Center, but he's fighting a little bit of some injuries and pain from football, but it's nothing serious, and I know we'll get healed up and back to it here in a week or two.
Senior Matthew Johnson now, big football season, big kid. He was 175 last year. Probably football kept him in shape very well. How's he looking early on?
Yeah, he's also looking good, and that's going to be kind of his challenge this year. Last year he was a 175-pounder, and with our current roster and what weight he coming in, we kind of designed it best. He bump up to 215, which he's an undersized 215, so he needs to fill out a little bit, and he'll have to change his wrestling style just a little bit, just on the different kind of body types from that 175 to 215.
And that's 40 pounds there. Is that kind of give him free light to eat a bunch and get a lot of energy?
Yeah, he's not watching his diet at all, except for I did tell him to stay away from the Doritos and eat more protein.
Another relatively young kid last year, sophomore Jay Sharts. I think he was ranked all year, number 3 going into state, finished 5th at 144. Another kid that seemed like he could have put on weight. How's he looking this early on?
Sharks looks really good. He's got a little bit of an injury too, but it's not holding him back, and I think he's pretty well recovered on it by now. I think he looks sharp. I'll just say that.
Talking to Panther wrestling coach Gannon Reichert, name that Great Bend has had around for quite a while. Cooper Lyles is now a senior. He was ranked number 4 going into state last year, 150. Once again, just another kid that you're looking forward to seeing wrestle this year?
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. I'm looking forward to seeing him wrestle. Right now, he has not wrestled yet in any kind of competition. He's kind of got an elbow injury that he's recovering from, and I know he was wanting to go wrestle live there with Manhattan, but I wanted him sitting out. I said, I told him we're a long way from state, and that's what really matters. Let's get better before we come in.
Another big kid last year and another freshman, Trenton Kern, was at 190. Another big kid on the football field this season, so another one of those kids that is 190 where he's expected, or did he move up as well?
No, he's at 190. He's looking good. He's kind of a brawler. We need to get a little more technique probably ingrained into his wrestling style, but I also don't want to take that kind of brute physicality away from Kern because that's him.
And a couple more young kids. Hayden Kelly was at 132 last year, and junior Brody Schnoblin up at the heavyweight class. How are those kids looking?
Yeah, Kelly, he's currently out until after Christmas sometime. He had a bad injury in football, but we're expecting him to come back around that 132, 138 weight class. Schnoblin, as well, he is wrestling up to 285. He was kind of planning on wrestling 215 until we had Johnson go to 215, but he's looking sharp for there, and another one we kind of got free reign. We're trying to pack some more pounds on, and he's having to be a little bit more technical with the weight given up.
And Coach, we still haven't seen a whole lot of them this year, but as a 4th-place team last year, most of the kids back, Skylar McMullen graduated, but most of them back, just kind of team expectations this year.
Well, I mean, we're planning on winning it. That's kind of what we're all expecting here and what we're all going for. So we can get all our ducks in a row and everything falls our way.
New Panther Wrestling Coach Gannon Reichert, we will talk to you tomorrow about Lady Panther Wrestling.
Sounds good.
Good luck this season. More Sports Day after this.
Extend the life of your equipment with the best warranty program and risk management tool in the agriculture industry. The Cenex Total Protection Plan covers new and used equipment. Receive up to 10 years or 10,000 hours of engine coverage when you use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster premium diesel fuel and synthetic lubricants. With no deductible, the Cenex Total Protection Plan provides unmatched coverage to give you the power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor, today.
All right, got a run today. Good show lined up for you tomorrow. We'll talk Barton basketball with Cole Reif. Tim Freese, former Lions Lion. Yeah, longtime administrator of Great Bend High School. He's going to be in studio. And we'll talk girls wrestling tomorrow in the On the Prowl feature, again with Gannon Riker, talking about girls wrestling at Great Bend High School. Coming up next, Agriculture Today here on KVGB.